Hello and welcome to Popcast. I'm Ryan. I am here with a special guest. This is Dylan.
Hello.
Hello. So this is a podcast that I do where we discuss film, TV and things around that sort of area. And today I've got a topic that I'm actually quite excited about discussing. We'll be discussing film and TV that is so bad it's good.
Yeah, my personal favourite type of movie.
Oh,
I
yeah?
won't go that far, but...
I mean, it's definitely up there for me. I think like I do like indulging in a film, which is like so objectively bad, but I can find a lot of value and like humor in it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what would you say would make a film like so bad it's good, basically?
Just something that's able to entertain me and make me laugh.
Yeah. I was reading an article the other day, and it was going over some like factors which could make films so bad they're good.
Right.
And there was like a list of like three main ones. There was botched CGI,
Yeah.
over ambition, and camp. And I think if a film can like sort of perfectly encapsulate all three of those factors, it can really make for an entertaining movie, which is objectively not very good at all.
Yeah, well, bad CGI just like badly made in general, really.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, you know, it could have great CGI, but it's just like over like edited or put together in a way which is just like absolutely nonsensical.
Or like poor acting.
Yeah, poor acting is another one. I think that falls under like over ambition, where like a film will have a set goal or set of goals that it wants to achieve from the get go, and when it's trying to execute them, it just fails miserably. And I think it's like sort of like looking at a car crash.
Yeah.
You know, I think like I've heard the phrase. Have you heard the phrase "car crash television" before?
Yep.
Yeah, it's like when you see something that's like so bad, but you can't help but like give your attention to it. It's like sort of like the same mentality like you'd have like when driving past a car accident on the road.
Reality TV.
Yeah, like reality TV, like Big Brother House or Jeremy Kyle.
Jeremy Kyle.
That's probably got a rage a bit on now, isn't it? That's not on anymore. Jeremy Kyle.
Yeah. No, I think he's got his news show on like Talk TV, which is where like Piers Morgan is in that.
Oh no.
All like the slightly like dodgy, unlikable people.
Oh, so Jeremy fits right in then,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. Like Jeremy and Piers, like they're over there.
Okay. So I think that sort of quite well brings us into like, what are some examples of films that you've seen that you'd consider that are so bad they're good?
Yeah, I thought a couple examples. I thought the Cat in the Hat film.
Oh, with Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched that a lot when I was like 6 years old. I don't remember much from it. I remember it being kind of like uncanny.
Yeah, and it's like probably lots of like adult jokes and stuff.
Yeah, I've been
Stuff
seeing
for
clips of
parents.
it on like my TikTok page.
Yeah,
There was like an infomercial one where like he cuts his tail off or something.
Yeah, and there's the SHIT one as well.
Yeah, I think there's also like other jokes in that film. I think it sells out a lot as well, that film, because it tries to like plug Universal Studios or something like that.
Yeah, there's like
during
a little
like
gag where he's like...
it's like going down a slide.
Yeah.
It's like you can ride stuff like this at Universal Studios. I think he actually does say cha-ching. Like he holds up tickets and they play like a cash sound. Yeah, I think that's definitely a so bad it's good film, because from what I remember from it, it does have like all the traits of a film, which fails miserably in its execution. Like it's objectively not a very good film.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun.
It's like a fever dream film.
Definitely. Yeah, it's sort of like the sort of film which sort of takes you on its ride, and you sort of got to let it happen. Because if you do anything about it, you're just not going to enjoy it.
I mean, it definitely catches like the craziness of like a Dr. Seuss book.
I suppose so, yeah.
Succeeds in that regard.
I don't know, because like Dr. Seuss famously did not like very many adaptations of his films
true.
when he was alive, but then, you know, he didn't like many things. So, you know, I've enjoyed the film, Cat in the Hat, in the past. So, you know, there's definitely some value to it, I find.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've seen it, so
Yeah, I haven't seen
can't
it.
remember exact like plot details.
Might have to do a watch along of it at some point.
Yeah.
Get some of the boys on Discord. We watch Cat in the Hat together. It won't be the strangest film, but we watched Charlie and the Chocolate Factory before on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I wouldn't consider as so bad as good. I think I would just consider that a good movie.
Yeah, I think that's good. That's a good film.
Yeah, I mean, like there are some elements where it's kind of odd in
Yeah,
that film, where like it sort of dips into that territory. But like I think throughout most of the film is consistent enough to a point where I was like, I'd just say it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'd agree.
What else have you got?
Also, another film. Haven't actually seen it, so it might be a bit tricky to talk about. But The Room.
The Room. Tommy Wiseau.
Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, I mean, I think The Room is one of those things that everyone has at least seen like a clip from, whether they know it or not.
Yeah. I've definitely seen like reviews and like memes and clips of it.
Like the "Oh hi Mark" thing.
Yeah, oh hi Mark, and like the "Hey kitty" or whatever he says.
Hey doggy.
Yeah, hey doggy, that's it. I've seen like the you can get like the original screening, you know, when they first like show off to people.
Yeah.
And there's just like applause during like the "Hey doggy" bit. I just loved.
I would absolutely applaud doing that, to be fair. I mean, to be fair, I think that film's got quite a notorious reputation for being a film that is so bad it's good. Because I think Tommy Wiseau, when he directed that film, he had the intentions of making it this very like serious drama that he wanted to produce.
I'm not even really sure what it's about, honestly.
Me neither.
It's about a room.
I don't think it's actually about a room.
It's about the room.
No, it's like it's got a girlfriend called Lisa or something.
You're tearing
It'd be apart, Lisa.
It's meant to be like a dramatic drama.
Yeah, but like it just comes across as hilarious as opposed to like dramatic.
I feel the Room is like the ultimate so bad it's good movie.
Oh, I'd say so. I think because like it's definitely something that maybe if you haven't seen it, you've definitely heard of it.
Yeah.
And you've definitely thought, well, maybe I could just get a bunch of friends together and watch that film. Because I think it's a film which is so notoriously bad that it had a film made about how bad it is, didn't it?
The Disaster Artist.
The Disaster Artist. Didn't you see that?
No, I wanted to, but I didn't get around to seeing that. No.
Yeah, I think that also, ironically enough, that fell into a so bad it's good category of film. Because I think they had a lot of over-ambition when they were directing that one. I've got a few films, actually. Have you seen Batman and Robin?
I don't think so, but I've seen like clips of it.
Yeah.
Like with The Room.
Oh, yeah. So I Batman and Robin was originally the film that I thought of when I thought of this topic, because it's a film I watched a lot when I was growing up. So like, you know, I'm assuming you've seen at least Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah.
The original one.
What's that? The original.
Yeah. So like those like 4 original Bat movies, 2 of which were directed by Michael Keaton, the other 2 which were directed by, I want to say Joel or Michael Schumacher. I don't know what his first name is. Schumacher. We'll just go with that. And he directed Batman Forever, which is the one with the Riddler in it. And then he directed Batman and Robin, which is a very bad movie.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious because so you've got Mr. Freeze in it, who's played by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. I've seen that.
Yeah, and Poison Ivy played by Uma Thurman. It's a really, really camp movie. So you've got scenes like a bat credit card that Batman pulls out.
Yeah.
During like what is essentially a human auction for Poison Ivy. And then you've got Mr. Freeze, who's just shouting these ice puns throughout the entire movie, and that is his entire gimmick. Apart from actually freezing people, his entire thing is he just sort of screams ice puns at people, which I think is really, really funny. Because I don't know how much you know about like Batman, but Mr. Freeze is meant to be like this tortured individual who does what he does for his wife. You know, like he doesn't really want to be a criminal. You're meant to feel quite sorry for him, but he's just this goofball in this film. Like he's an absolute buffoon. It's hilarious. What else have I seen? Of the live action Scooby-Doo movies, I think could sort of fall into this category, but I'm not sure. I don't know if I'd say that though, because I do actually think they're quite good movies.
Yeah,
at least the second one.
I'm tempted to call them good.
I'd say the first one falls more into the so bad as good category.
Yeah.
Whereas
I always get them mixed up on which one's which.
The first one is the one on the island with Robot Mr. Bean, piloted by
Mr.
Scrappy
Bean,
Doo. And the second one is the one where the monsters like come to life and attack the city.
Remember they made like a third one with a different cast? You ever see that?
What was that one called?
I don't remember. It was.
I know they made like 2 other and there's like 3 other live action Scooby-Doo films. There was Curse of the Lake Monster, The Mystery Begins, and Daphne and Velma, all of which are terrible.
Yeah, I think the third one was like meant as like an origin story.
It was Mystery Begins, I think.
Yeah.
I think I have seen it. I don't remember much from it because it was a long time ago if I did. Being an avid Scooby-Doo fan, I surprisingly haven't seen many of the movies.
Yeah. I think in the third one, they managed to make Scooby look even more uncanny than in the first two, which is quite impressive.
I mean, what do you mean? I think it's insane how they trained an actual dog to talk on set for those movies. Have you seen the behind-the-scenes interview? I think it's for the second movie. You've got like Sarah Michelle Gellar, who plays Daphne.
Yeah.
He was like, it's not a boys' cartoon, it's not a girls' cartoon, it's a cartoon for everyone. And then it cuts to Freddie Prinze Jr., and he has the insightful input of, it was a talking dog, you know? And I think, without anything else, that film was perfectly cast.
Yeah.
You know, like you had the perfect casting for those movies. Like Matthew Lillard, he still plays Shaggy to this day.
Yeah.
Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar played Fred and Daphne. I forget the actress that played Velma, but she was really well cast.
Yeah, I don't remember. But they're all good.
Yeah, they were all good. Freddie Prinze Jr. and Sarah Michelle Gellar are actually married now.
Yeah.
And
no doubt Jesus Scooby-Doo.
No doubt Jesus Scooby-Doo. I think they technically met on the set of like Midsummer. I know what you did last summer or something like that. But I like to think that it was Scooby-Doo that sparked the romance between the two of them, you know?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, and obviously Scooby was well cast. They managed to get a dog that looked just like him.
Looked just like him. Okay, going back to the topic at hand, what would you say would make a film just sort of plain bad? Like, actually unenjoyable?
I'd say, like, uninteresting and boring.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, that's, like, the worst thing a film can be, is just boring and uninteresting.
I'd have to agree. I mean, if a film can, like, deliver a message, but it has nothing interesting to do with that message, what's the point in making the film?
Yeah, like, if a film...
You may as well make a documentary.
Yeah. Because if a film's funny, even if it's, like, bad, or if, like, it's weird, I'm going to be... you know, kept interested.
Yeah. I think, like, having a film be weird is more interesting than it being just bad.
Yeah.
So, what do you think would, like, just be, like, an example of just, like, a plain bad movie?
God, there's probably a lot. I can't really think of any at the moment. I don't know. What are you thinking? I mean, if you say some examples, probably stuff will come to mind for me.
One that sticks out to me is Suicide Squad 2016. I've talked about it before on this show. But like that film, it has a lot of ideas that it wants to achieve, but like ultimately it sort of fails miserably in trying to like sort of stay true to its source material.
Well, there's probably a few superhero films actually.
Yeah, Thor: The Dark World is one I can think of. It absolutely wastes Christopher Eccleston in that movie. Mm-hmm. You know, really great actor.
I think I like the Justice League film.
Yeah, the original Justice League. You've got
that Fantastic Four film.
Oh, what, Fan Four Stick?
Yeah, Fan Four Stick.
Yeah, I tried to sit down to watch that and I couldn't do it. I couldn't. It was actually unwatchable.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I think that if a film loses your interest early on, I think that can be really bad for it. Because, you know, especially if you've gone to the cinema to watch this thing, you paid to see it. So like,
yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw Fan Four Stick in the cinema.
Oh, you poor soul.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fan Four Stick is not a good time. I might have to try to sit for it again, just to sort of say that I watched it.
Just to torture yourself.
To torture myself. Yeah, but I don't know. What else can I think of? There's loads of just bad movies out there. You could go on all day about them, really. But I don't think we'll dwell on it for too long, because there's nothing more upsetting than just sort of complaining about something. For the sake
I
of
try not to
about
watch
it.
bad films. Yeah,
me too. I mean, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'll hear of a film that's like, it's just so bad, it's awful, that I'll be out of curiosity, I might watch 15, maybe just like half the movie.
Yeah.
Then drop it, because you sometimes it's got to be seen to be believed. So, I might enjoy it. But then usually I don't, because usually they're right.
Probably a lot of like the old video game adaptations.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in recent years they've gotten better. Like the Sonic and the Mario movies meant to be good.
Yeah.
There's like
the original Super Mario
films.
Brothers. I don't know. I've heard. I haven't seen the original Super Mario Brothers, but apparently that does fall into the sort of so bad it's good category, because it grossly misrepresents its source material. Whereas so like the Goombas are like these big weird lizard creature things. Mm-hmm. You know, I've heard that one's actually enjoyable to watch to an extent if you don't take it seriously.
Have you seen the Doom film? That's just straight bad.
I've not seen Doom. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, but I've seen reviews and stuff of it.
Oh yeah.
It basically takes Doom, but it just turns it into like a generic action film.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not none of like the cool, like gory, like.
Is it at least set in hell?
I don't think it's even set in hell. It's like
It's not even a Doom movie. Then.
Yeah, it's just called Doom, and it's like it probably says in the credits like based on the video game.
That is so cheap.
I think it's like on like an alien world or something.
Nah, no, that's awful.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do a Doom movie, at least have the due diligence to at least set it in its correct location,
and
being hell.
It's not even like any like. There's no like callbacks to like. You don't have like the original like Doom guy suit or like any of like the original like aliens. It's just like a generic kind of like action film.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not even good as a generic action film either.
Great. The thing is, I think video game movies are like the one exception for like film in general, where I think like fan wank is a good thing.
Yeah,
because you're catering to an audience of people which like have played the game outside of the film before going to watch the film 9 times out of 10. Because like very few people are going to look at a film called World of Warcraft and go, I want to go watch that. Mm-hmm. If it's not like marketed nicely, they're going to want to go and watch it, see some of their favorite characters, see references to the games that they play. Mm-hmm. And they're not going to want to go see the Doom guy, not dressed as the Doom guy, not doing Doom guy type things, not in hell. So yeah, I can definitely see why that one wasn't very well received. I know the original Mortal Kombat film that came out way back in the day is just awful. Yeah. I've heard that. Same with Street Fighter as well. That had an awful movie, apparently.
Wasn't there like a Resident Evil one? Or Silent Hill?
There's been lots of Resident Evil ones, and apparently they're all terrible.
Yeah, they're bad, yeah.
There was a Resident Evil show which came out last year. Mm-hmm. I think our friend Soren was watching it while we were on holiday. And I don't know why he watched it, but he said it was awful. It was one of the worst things he'd ever seen. Yeah, so I think that sort of tells you the quality of certain video game media. But it's definitely improved in recent years because you've had, like you said, Sonic and Mario, which have done quite well. So, maybe there's like...
And The Last of Us show.
The Last of Us. Detective Pikachu was quite good as well. So maybe there could be like a big sort of return and redemption of video game movies probably. Yeah. Maybe that'll be the next big thing. When superheroes go on their way out, maybe video game films will take their place. I don't know.
Superheroes going out, which we've been saying is going to happen.
It's going to happen for like... people say superheroes are going out of fashion every 5 years or so, and then it never happens. I think this is just how things are going to be for like the next 20 or so years at least, you know?
I know like Westerns used to be like the equivalent.
That's true. I think that like with Westerns, people always thought these are never going to go out of fashion. These are always going to be the big thing, and then they did.
Yeah.
So I think at the moment, I think interest in superheroes is maybe at a low, which is why we're getting so many sort of lackluster films. But like I think in the coming years,
like Marvel's kind of been kind of
Marvel's gotten too used to being at the top for too long. Yeah. So I think because like DC's going for a big reboot right now, I think that might actually help things become a bit more interesting again because there'll be like an actual competition between two competent runners of a cinematic universe.
Like Marvel kind of peaked with Endgame and it's kind of gone downhill since. Yeah. So there hasn't been good stuff since then, but it's been a much more mixed bag.
That's the thing. Like I recently caught up on like some of the stuff that I missed out on. Like it's not bad stuff. Yeah. It's just I can name things from previous like phases that I like a lot more. Yeah.
Like it's more of a mixed bag.
I think James Gunn said it best that people aren't tired of superheroes; they're just tired of the same superhero movie every time. Yeah. Because you go to the cinema, you go watch Ant-Man, you know what you're getting with Ant-Man, and then they don't do anything interesting with it. It's always the same movie. So like I think Marvel is sort of heading into that direction of just producing things that are just plain bad. Mm-hmm. I think there's the occasional sort of like so bad it's good thing that they do, i.e. Morbius. Yeah. Because, there's a lot of ironic enjoyment out of that film. Mm-hmm. But, like, for the most part, it's just not great. Speaking of Morbius, do you know what the Razzies are?
Yes, like the bad film awards, right?
Yeah. So they're like the antithesis of the Oscars. So, basically, you want to win an Oscar, you don't want to win a Razzie. And I just want to quickly go over some of the winners, quote-unquote winners.
The losers.
I think that's the more accurate word, yeah. Of some Razzies from last year. So I mentioned Morbius. Jared Leto won I say won. He won worst actor.
Yeah.
For that film, which I think is really funny. I haven't seen Morbius yet. Have you seen it yet?
No, I haven't.
I've got the DVD at home. My little brother got it for me for my birthday. How kind of him, right?
Does he hate you?
Yeah, that's what I thought. So he he gave me that film, and now it sits on my shelf. And because it's an M, it sits on the front of my shelf because like it's in alphabetical order. Mm-hmm. So it's always facing towards me. So it's like
as you sleep.
As I sleep, Morbius watches me, and it's like an inevitability. One day, it's my white whale that I am going to one day have to sit down and watch Morbius, be it like willingly or just like because I've ran out of other things to watch. Blonde won a worst picture. It had some stiff competition. It had Disney's Pinocchio, Morbius, Good Morning, and The King's Daughter to go against, but Blonde won it. I don't remember what that film was about.
It was like like Marilyn Monroe.
Oh, was it?
That one.
Okay. Oh yeah. Cool.
Apparently it was just, I don't know much about it, but it was apparently just like quite like disrespectful to like Marilyn.
Oh, fair enough. I mean, like she was quite an accomplished actress in her time, so
Yeah.
I can see why people wouldn't be very happy about her legacy being sort of tarnished like that. I suppose. Worst actor. We've just been over this with Jared Leto, but then the other runners up were Colson Baker, aka Machine Gun Kelly from Good Morning, Pete Davidson from Marmaduke, Tom Hanks as Geppetto from Pinocchio. I want Sylvester Stallone as the Samaritan, I guess. Oh, from the film called The Samaritan. Okay. He's not the Samaritan.
Did he play the Samaritan in The Samaritan?
He possibly did. For worst actress, the winner just says the Razzies. So I don't. The one is up. Bryce Della Howard from Jurassic Park Dominion. Jurassic Park. The Jurassic World was
Jurassic World. I haven't seen the new one.
I'm starting to think that the person who wrote this article didn't do a very good job of researching it. You get the picture. It's sort of like a way of celebrating film's failures, Yeah. Whereas the Oscars are there to sort of, celebrate what's good in film and TV and all that good stuff. Well, mostly film. They don't really do TV in the Oscars. So I think the Razzies are a way of, I feel, adding value to something that's inherently valueless. So it can even make a film that is like plain bad, kind of entertaining with the knowledge that it won a Razzie for something.
Yeah, like you want to see a film because it won a Razzie.
I mean, like if a film managed to win more than one Razzie, that'd be impressive to see.
Is there like any actors who won like multiple Razzies?
I think Jared Leto's won a couple actually.
Yeah.
I think he won one for his role as the Joker, and then he won one for his role as Morbius, which is impressive because he managed to be in not only the worst DC movie but also the worst Marvel movie of all time. So it's really impressive. I think Jared Leto is especially achieved actor because he's just the worst person to ever exist. He's the worst actor ever.
Yeah, he's not someone you feel sorry for like being in bad films.
No, I don't feel sorry. I felt bad for Matt Smith being in Morbius.
Yeah.
He needs to fire his agent. He's been miscasting him in some things.
Yeah.
But Jared Leto's agents know what he's doing. He knows what his limits are, which is good acting.
Wasn't Matt Smith like cut from Star Wars or something?
I don't know. I know he was in Terminator. He played the physical embodiment of Skynet in Terminator Genisys, I think.
Was that a good one, or was that
Terminator Genisys was not the best, I'll be honest with you. It was very overly average, if that makes sense. It wasn't good. It wasn't awful. It was watchable. I lose track
of which ones are meant to be good or bad. I know the first two, obviously. Terminator
1 is good. Terminator 2 is the best one, and then anything after that is just not really worth watching.
Yeah.
Basically, James Cameron got a bit, as James Cameron does. He gets a bit in his own head about his properties, and as well as Avatar: Way of the Water did. I do think he has got his head 50 feet up his own arse. I respect him as a director. He's just a very narcissistic man. But he makes good movies though, so I guess it can be forgiven. But like he needs to get over himself, man.
Yeah.
He's so in love with himself. What would you say are your favourite So Bad They're Good films that you've seen? Your favourite? You had to pick one that you've seen.
I felt like I've talked about a few of them. I did think of a couple other examples.
Oh, go on. I'll go for that.
The Amazing Bulk film,
Oh, yeah.
which is just
It's a rip-off of Hulk, isn't it?
yeah. Well, I don't think the plot's the same, but it's the same character, just purple.
I think it is the same plot. Because you've told me about The Amazing Bulk before.
Yeah.
It was made by... Who made it?
I don't know.
Some guy.
Like Spielberg or someone like that.
Spielberg, Scorsese.
Yeah. It was a joint effort.
No, it was made by like a very low budget film crew that obviously didn't have the rights to use the Incredible Hulk, though they probably wanted to. So they had to make up this quote unquote original character.
Yeah, nothing like Hulk.
Nothing like Hulk, except that he was made in the same way. The film has the exact same plot and has almost identical characters throughout the runtime of the film.
Yeah, and it's got good bad acting, as I like to call it.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just like, really like stiff like dialogue and like delivery.
Yeah, I've seen a clip from it before where this guy's like badgering on about dust bunnies or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean from that, because I would definitely describe that as good bad acting.
Yeah.
It's sort of the acting that, like, if someone was like trying to pretend to be a bad actor, it's the sort of thing that they would do, but like this is just actually how they act though.
Yeah. I mean, purposely bad acting, you need to be like a good actor to do that.
Yeah, true.
And the CGI as well in that film.
Yeah, I've seen like this chase scene from the film, and they just use a bunch of random assets, don't they?
Yeah, and that's like near the end, so I think they just like used up like their remaining like assets, just like they just threw it all together.
Yeah, it definitely looked like they bought like a library off of like a store page.
Like free stock.
Of like stock assets. And they were like, well, we paid for all these assets. We may as well use them.
Yeah, it's just Mr. Bulk, as I call him, just running through like all these like random locations which don't relate to the film in any way at all.
There's like a weird Robin Hood type character of like a second. Like he doesn't appear throughout the entire film at all. It's just like a stock image that they use. Yeah.
And there's this one scene where the Bulk, and I mean I have to give him credit because they clearly put some effort into it, crushes like a helicopter.
Yeah.
And it's just a man painted purple, like a bald man. And like the Hulk like glove you used to be able to buy.
Yeah.
Like that toy.
Like the big fist.
Yeah, just one of them like painted purple.
That is actually hilarious.
And yeah, it's pretty inconsistent with Bulk's size, which,
Yeah, because isn't he like the size of your average man sometimes, and like 100 feet tall?
Well, sometimes he's like 12 feet, other times he's like 100, yeah. But I mean, that seems like a pretty minor issue with this film.
I think compared to every other issue that you've just listed, it does sound like a rather minor issue, like the inconsistency in his height. I don't think many people could be looking out for that, really.
Another example I thought of was Mamma Mia. Have you ever seen that film?
What, the film Mamma Mia?
Yeah, the film Mamma Mia. I mean, that's just so bad, it's a good film.
A lot of people just think that's a good film.
Yeah, but that's like middle-aged mums. That's a good film.
It's middle-aged mums and ABBA fans.
Yeah.
I don't know, I've not actually seen it. I personally would probably enjoy it if I did watch it, but I'll let you describe why is it so bad as a good film.
It's just like really like cheesy and like overly dramatic.
That is true. If a film is like really cheesy, it can make it sort of ironically enjoyable.
Yeah, it's like your typical like I don't remember. I guess it's like a rom-com in a way.
But like
it's been a while since I've seen it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this woman's like, there's like 3 men she can marry and she has to like choose or something. I don't really remember the exact details of the plot, but
I mean, I know there was the sequel called Mamma Mia, Here We Go Again.
Yeah. Which they made purely for the name.
Yeah, exactly. They would not have made that movie if it wasn't for that perfect name, which they clearly spent hours and hours coming up with. I guess you could say that's so bad it's a good movie, but then that's the thing with little films, it's quite a subjective thing. So like something that you might consider that's bad or like so bad it's good, someone else might just say that's just a good movie.
Yeah, well then they have bad taste.
But they might think you have bad taste, that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's another so bad it's good
bad
film, Bad Taste.
Yeah.
That was directed by Peter Jackson, who did the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, not his best work.
We've got a friend who loves that movie, Bad Taste. He quotes it every day.
Which line is it? Is it
"We're having you for lunch"? Yeah, that gets quoted almost every day.
Have you seen the I watched this film in like a Discord with some people.
Yeah.
It was called Toons.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of, it's hard to describe. It's one of those films you have to see it to like believe it, kind of thing.
You sent me the trailer for it. I need to sit there. I need to watch it because it definitely sounds quite. So it definitely sounds sort of similar to like how Bad Taste is.
Yeah, I think the basic plot is like some characters from like the cartoon world like come over to our world. And it's meant to be like a horror film, but
right,
like it's just like more funny.
It sounds a bit like Who Framed Roger Rabbit in a way.
Yeah.
But like clearly it fails miserably in its execution.
Yeah. I mean, the cartoon characters aren't actually like animated. They're like live action.
Like people in costumes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's kind of disappointing.
And it's like, it's a horror film and it's scary, but probably not like in the intended way.
It's like uncanny scary.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, you should watch the trailer at some point.
Well, I'll watch it after this podcast, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think that'll be something to laugh at in between shows. Yeah, I think moving on from that, what would you say are some TV shows that you've seen which would fall under the sort of so bad they're good category? Or any that you know of?
I know you were saying about the Breaking Bad one.
The
remake, not the original.
Not Breaking Bad. That show's amazing and people should watch it. But it's Colombian, isn't it?
Colombian, yeah.
The Colombian remake of Breaking Bad called Metástasis.
Yeah.
You've shown me clips from it before.
Yeah. I've got a load of them on my YouTube recommended.
Yeah, because don't they have all the characters just like the main character from the show, but like they've made their name sort of Spanish in a way.
It's Walter Blanco.
Walter Blanco instead of Walter White. Saul Bueno instead of Saul Goodman.
I don't remember Jesse's surname, but he's called it Jose or something.
That's brilliant. Because like from what I've heard, the show Metástasis literally just follows Breaking Bad episode to episode. Yeah. Basically.
I don't think it's like as bad as people make out.
Yeah, but it's when you're comparing it to what it's ripping off, it's awful.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you reckon they'll do their version of Better Call Saul with Saul Ben?
Yeah, Saul Ben.
Better Call Bueno.
Like I think there's a few things like it succeeds at. Like I think some of the castings like fairly alright.
I mean, yeah. I guess if you live in Colombia, and you're trying to cast Breaking Bad with people from your country,
like I think like Mike and Saul are like fairly good.
Yeah.
But like ironically enough, I think the weakest link in that remake is probably Walter
Blanco.
Yeah, Walter Blanco. Like most of the other cast did like a fairly good job what they given.
Because in a lot of the scenes I have seen for this show, a lot of like the bad acting does seem to be coming from him.
Yeah.
Like he does seem to be the one letting down a lot of everybody else's scenes, which is, what I've noticed from what I've seen from the show.
Some of the other people do like generally like decent job.
Yeah.
But there's a scene where, in Ozymandias when, like, I guess spoilers are fine here.
Yeah, spoiler alert for Breaking Bad, by the way.
Yeah, when Hank dies and like Walter does like funny meme face, which actually is like beyond the meme, like a good scene.
It's a really good scene, but when I watched it for the first time, I couldn't unsee the meme. Yeah, I know what you mean.
In Metástasis, he just looks like mildly annoyed at the facts rather than devastated. He just slightly peeved.
He's like a bit ticked off.
Yeah.
I have seen the scene where, again, spoilers for Breaking Bad, in, the bit where Hector blows up.
Yeah.
Gus.
And Gus is white for some reason.
Yeah, Gus is white in this show. That was actually surprisingly decently done, I feel, in Metástasis, which I find is quite interesting, because they clearly had some money to throw around for this show, because I think they wanted to make their version of Breaking Bad. And I guess they achieved it. They did make a definitive Colombian version of Breaking Bad, which
I don't think it's like as like bad.
It's not as bad as people say.
People make out.
But I think there are definitely sort of so bad it's good elements. There, i.e. Walter Blanco, Saul Bueno.
Have you seen the IMDb page?
Let's have a look at it now.
They might have like undone it because like 1984. Basically, you know how anyone can edit like IMDb.
Yeah.
Like I say, it might not be there anymore, but people just added like a bunch of like fake episodes and like synopsis, and it's like Mike buys an iPad and stuff.
No, I think they've edited it. Yeah.
There was like someone made like Aussie Matches 2 and, like, one of the episodes, and the description was like nothing remotely interesting or important for this episode.
I think I pay good money to watch that series.
Yeah. And it was like Mike gets like a can of beavers to steal an iPad and stuff.
I would love to actually see like a shitpost series of Breaking Bad. It's like the same characters in the same world, and everything that's happened has still happened, but they just do stupid shit like in The Simpsons.
I always like how
Mike buys an iPad.
the Breaking Bad memes are like so stupid.
I love Breaking Bad.
And it like balances out like how serious the actual show is.
Yeah, I think you sent me a meme the other day. Actually, it's like there are two types of Breaking Bad fans.
Yeah.
There's the type which make like edits of like badass moments from the show, and then there's the type which do awful Mike Ehrmantraut impressions. Say Walter, meant to put forks in the microwave, Walter. And I think that is quite true. That there was like not really much in between.
Yeah.
There are literally those two types of Breaking Bad fan, and there's not much overlap between them.
Imagine people who like know it from the memes just watch the show. I felt like a funny comedy.
I mean, like the first series is sort of like a dark comedy, and then it becomes more of a drama as the show progresses, while keeping some of those elements.
Yeah.
Like it's nowhere near the levels that the memes with people.
Yeah.
I know, my partner, for example, he's heard of Breaking Bad. He's seen the memes from Breaking Bad. He hasn't seen the show. I was talking about it the other day because I suggested we should probably watch it. And he said, is it actually like how it is in the memes, or is it actually a really good show?
He said yes, like the memes.
So I think that's quite an interesting example of like something that has the exact same idea, trying to do the same show, but like it's sort of, in its execution, has come out very, very different.
Yeah. I know, like, in the scene where Walter Blanco dies, they just have like this like really like off-tune like Mexican music.
Oh yeah, because they had Baby Blue in the original series.
Yeah, which like really fit. But this was like, in the remake, it's like really jarring, like typical like somber like Mexican.
I think I'd absolutely love to like sit down with a group of friends at some point. I'd do it over the course of a few weeks, obviously, but like just like watch through Metástasis with them.
All of it.
Yeah, I think that'd be funny.
Okay.
Don't you?
Sure.
Not anytime soon, probably, but like I think at some point in the future, I think that'd be a fun thing to do, if only because it's a silly meme show.
Yeah.
I think the sort of the final thing I want to talk about is: have you ever heard of the concept of hate watching?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, would you say that hate watching certain things may help us enjoy things more than we would beforehand?
Yeah, probably. If I'm going expecting to not like it, I guess that makes it easier to digest.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because there've been shows recently that have come out which a lot of people have said these are terrible shows and you shouldn't watch them, but people have gone out of their way to go watch them anyway. I think the one that comes to mind at the moment is Velma.
Yeah.
On HBO Max. That was, I mean, that's not even so bad. It's a good show. That's just a bad show.
Yeah, it's just bad. Yeah.
But it got watched by a lot of people, and it got renewed for a second season.
Yeah, because everyone watched it because it was bad.
Because everyone watched it because it was bad.
Because if I go into something expecting it to be good, I'll be disappointed when it's bad.
I guess if you go into something expecting it to be bad, you can sort of like make a game of it almost.
Yeah. And if it then ends up being, if I end up then enjoying it, that's like...
It's like a win-win,
Yeah.
Either way, you're going to enjoy yourself. And I think we've all sat down and watched like a show or a film, like something that we don't think we're going to enjoy. Like we've watched it to like sort of poke fun at it.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done it before.
Yeah.
Like we've sat down to watch films that we've gone, this is going to be awful, and then like sometimes we actually come out like quite enjoying it.
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo 2 was one of those films actually.
or even just enjoying it from it being bad.
Yeah. So I do think sort of hate watching certain things can be both a good and a bad thing, I think.
Yeah.
Because it's a good thing in the sense that you can get enjoyment from something that is like objectively bad, that isn't so bad it's good. You can get enjoyment from something like that. Like you could make it like a drinking game, or you could just poke fun of it or like point out holes to your friends and laugh at it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I guess there's also the bad part of it, whereas like things like Velma, which get renewed for a second series because it's got all this viewership of people watching this show, and it's just like we don't want a second season of it because it's resources from a property that people like going into a show that they don't like.
Yeah. And there's certain shows which have like 8 seasons, and you wonder like how they're still around.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, Grey's Anatomy is like 20, and like Big Mouth.
Yeah, Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
But then I guess you could sort of got to look at like sometimes general audiences just do like shows and films like that,
Yeah.
My mum loves Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
I hate it. I think it's an awful show, but if my mum likes it, I guess I can't be right saying like it's just a terrible show because clearly it's got this audience of millions of people that love the show.
I know like Netflix like have a bit of reputation of renewing bad shows and then cancelling like their good ones.
Yeah, because what was it recently? They cancelled a show. I think it was like Archer or something.
Yeah.
Was it Archer? No, it was something else. I don't know. It was a show that people really, really loved, and they cancelled it. And I think shortly after they announced that Big Mouth was getting another new season.
Yeah. Have you seen another so bad it's good show? Riverdale. Have you seen about that?
Riverdale, no, but our friend George has seen it, and
It's such like a fever dream. 'Cause from my understanding, is that the first like season is basically just a typical run-of-the-mill like high school drama.
Yeah.
And there's like a murder. And it's meant to be like fairly decent the first season.
Okay.
But then out of nowhere, they just sort of introduce like magic and stuff to what was like previously like a regular show. And I follow, like there's like movie accounts like discussing film and stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
They'll just like post about it, and it's like really out of context like lines like about the show, which make like no sense.
So, like it had its jump the shark moment in its second season, basically.
And I think there's like 6 seasons now. I think there's like a last one coming out. I'm gonna see if I can find like an example from an article.
Where can you watch it?
I think it might be on Netflix.
Okay.
I've watched like a few like random episodes like dotted throughout with like friends and that.
A show that I think is kind of sort of so bad it's good is Class.
Yeah,
The Doctor Who one. Yeah, because I kind of find it enjoyable in the sense that this show has no right fitting into the Doctor Who universe at all, but they still try their damn best to do it. I think there are some genuinely good parts of that show, but I think for the most part, it's like a show that you can sort of laugh at, really.
Yeah.
Like, I think, didn't you watch it as it was coming out, or no? Or didn't you? Is it you
I've
that
watched-
hasn't seen it?
I think I've watched maybe like half of it, maybe.
Yeah, it's a show that's improved for me on rewatches, like most Doctor Who things do. But like I still wouldn't call it a good show.
Yeah. I think Doctor Who in general is just like a universe which has a lot of so bad it's good stuff.
K9.
Yeah, the K9 Australian one.
I've sat through the entire K9 show from Australia. It was by far probably the most painful experience I've ever gone through because there was 24 episodes.
Right.
And none of them were good. Well, no, there was one episode that I liked with these like these dog aliens called the Anubians.
Yeah. Was that so bad it's good though?
That was so bad it's good because it was really camp. And that's the sort of whole show's got this sort of camp air to it. Mm-hmm. So I would call K9 a so bad it's good show, but like it's not something I'm going to jump to rewatch anytime soon. Like I've got the DVD at home. I may watch it again many years down the line. But it's not going to be soon because I've still it's like a traumatic experience sitting through it the first time.
Yeah, I feel like Doctor Who itself probably has a lot of like the so bad it's good episodes.
Yeah, I mean for Doctor Who, depending on who you ask, the entire show is a so bad it's good thing.
Yeah,
because I think it's got this reputation of being this silly sci-fi show for kids.
Yeah,
I mean I don't agree with that because I love the show, but
it's like one of my favorite shows ever. But like. Even I can admit, like,
it's a silly show.
It's got a lot of like.
It's like it in the recent series with the 13th Doctor. There's been a lot of argument online about how the show is either like too political or it's too silly now, and I always sit there and I think, are you watching the same show as me? Yeah. Because like the show has always been like this. It has always been silly. It's always been.
It's been quite political because the Daleks are based on like the Nazis.
Yeah,
weren't they?
I mean, there's episodes like the Sunmakers and Colony in Space.
Yeah.
From the early from the classic era of the show. Mm-hmm. Whereas like these are some of the most political statement. Like these are designed to push a political agenda.
Yeah.
You know, The Sunmakers is a episode about capitalism bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know. I think Doctor Who's always been quite a socialist show.
Yeah.
Ever since its first episode, the Unearthly Child, like the episodes after it, the caveman ones are literally caveman politics.
Yeah.
You know, it's from day one it has been a political show.
Mm-hmm. I do think I prefer when shows like do like more political metaphors than straight up.
Yeah, I mean, I quite enjoyed Aliens of London.
Yeah,
putting politicians.
Yeah, I prefer that rather than actually having like a real historical setting.
I don't know. I mean, I think there is a benefit to having like real historical settings. I mean, we're getting a bit off topic, but I think it fits in. Like one of my favourite episodes is the Gunfighters.
Yeah.
From the first Doctor's era, and that is just a spaghetti western.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So I know a lot of first Doctor stuff was like
pure historical.
Yeah, like aliens.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like those episodes, a lot of them are my favourites.
Yeah.
Marco Polo.
I've seen like the Romans and the Aztecs.
Yeah, the Romans, the Aztecs, and they're brilliant episodes. But they're also quite camp as well.
Yeah.
I think the highlight of camp for me is the Sixth Doctor era, especially
like the Candyman.
That's the Seventh Doctor.
Five?
Yeah, but that still falls under like it's very camp. It's very silly.
And Peter Kay's Absorbaloff from Tenth Doctor.
Absolutely. So yeah, I think there's definitely like a good argument for like there's a lot of so bad it's good elements in Doctor Who. Like even in recent years, I think it sort of embraces it even more.
Yeah.
Because you've got things like the Pating that show up in Series 11. You know, you've got things like what's one from Series 10 I'm thinking of.
There was the Tim Shaw or whatever.
Tim Shaw, that was Series 11. Yeah. You know, I think like it's a show that's got a capacity to laugh at itself.
Yeah.
Which I think helps it a lot. It sort of appeals to people that enjoy it as like just a good sci-fi show, and people that watch it because it's sort of so bad it's good.
Yeah.
You know, I as someone who's watched the show since they were a kid, I will recognise that it's not the best show ever made.
Yeah.
You know, there are things better than Doctor Who, but overall, I think it is. Yeah. Anyway, after that major tangent, I think it's time to end off today. Thanks for listening to Popcast. I've been Ryan, and this has been my special guest, Dylan.
Dylan will be.
Yeah, thank you, Dylan. Dylan will be joining us again in our next episode where we'll be discussing animated film and TV. So hopefully we'll see you there. Thanks for listening.